Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Ridgeback Rumble Talk, and we're joined today by a very special women's hockey athlete, Erin Ross. Good afternoon, Erin. How's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Doing pretty well too. How's this past few weeks been for you this semester?
Not too bad. Pretty busy, but that's about it.
Great, great, great. That's fantastic. So I was doing a bit of looking, of course, through your profile and whatnot, preparing for this, and I saw that you won a couple of awards before in the past. That you were Female Freshman Athlete of the Year. You were actually on the OUA All Rookie team too. You won an All Academic Award too as well, and you were also one of the captains this past season. So just tell us what's the secret to everything.
I don't know. Just a lot of hard work, determination.
Great, great, great. I mean, very straight to the point. Just do that, and then of course the results will follow. So
Exactly.
you're also from Lucan, Ontario. Tell us a bit about that. How far is that from here? Do you miss home very much? Are you currently at home there, or
No, I'm in Oshawa right now.
okay, perfect.
Um, it's about 2.5 hours from here. Really depends on traffic. I do miss home like a little bit, but I obviously have the ability to go home whenever I want, so that's always nice too.
True, fair, fair. Home's not running away. It's always gonna be there. Don't worry. So that's great. And you're also in your third year studying commerce. Why did you pick commerce alongside your hockey career? Just curious about that.
I think in grade 12, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, so I thought business opens a lot of doors. So I guess I took that and like I like it now, but when I first started, I was a bit unsure.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. And yes, I do agree with you. It's a very versatile field altogether. And perfect that it worked out for you. And speaking of high school too, you won back-to-back OFSA championships, which is pretty awesome. How do you feel about that? Did that give you a momentum boost coming into varsity hockey?
I'm not sure if it really like gave momentum, but it was just a nice thing to be able to do with your friends that you go to high school with that you're obviously not going to be able to see every day in university or continue to play hockey with in the future. So
Sure,
it's just like a good, memorable moment.
that's fair. But occasionally, do you still play with your former teammates just for fun during your free time?
Yeah, I actually play with a few of them from junior in the summer once in a while, but a couple of them have quit now or just like don't come home that often.
Oh, I see. I see. That's all right. That's all right. All right. And then speaking of your teammates that you're currently playing with now, of course, not in the regular season because that's canceled, but you're still practicing with them. Which of them would you say you're pretty tight with? You're pretty close in your close circle.
I'd say my close circle is probably just like my three roommates. So Soph and Brooke I live with, and then I live with Leaf too, who's on the men's team.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And also, just tell us a bit of a background. How did you get into playing hockey? Just in a summary. Let's know that.
Well, I was really young, and I think my brother he played first because he's 2 years older than me. And I think that I just watched him and was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be like that. And actually, my uncle went and bought me like a brand new pair of like high end figure skates because my mom thought that would be just the thing to do because she figure skated and I wouldn't even put them on. So I think that was like the moment that my parents were like, I guess we'll sign her up.
Fair enough. I mean, the connection is pretty close. Have you tried figure skating like actively recently yourself?
Nope, never tried it.
Sure, sure. You just focused on hockey, just getting that. All right. So let's look back at how this whole season has been for you and practicing with the whole team. Looking at the start of the pandemic and compared to now, how has training and preparation for the upcoming season been for all of you together?
Well, near the end of last season, it actually like we weren't able to practice at all, which really sucked. Like we didn't make playoffs, but it's nice to still get out there. And now we're actually able to go on the ice as a full team twice a week. So sometimes we'll do actual drills that like are season building, and other times we'll just play games and do like different 3-on-3 challenges and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. At least you're still doing something. Seems like it's a good variety, and being on the ice is pretty important. It's better than just practicing from home altogether. So I'm sure one thing, maybe this is of course not the only thing that is on your mind right now, but I remember towards the end of last season how you had a whole huge momentum boost coming in compared to the start of the season, which was relatively rough, I would say. But you all picked back up immensely and tremendously and got a good streak of wins. Is that something that you guys have been thinking about consciously and how you can translate that into the future upcoming season?
Yeah, I think that's something that we think about a lot, and I think we think about, like, the one turning point that made that happen and how, like, our confidence changed when we started winning and stuff, and I know that we were looking really forward to bringing, like, the end of last season into this season, obviously before it got canceled, but
Yeah. That's good. I think, yeah, that's definitely whatever you can leverage and capitalize on and really carry that to push you forward. Honestly, go for that. But looking at yourself specifically, what would you say is then one major moment that you look back and gives you a lot of joy because it's a major highlight for you, or just something that always resonates in your memory?
I'd say one thing from just, like, university hockey that always resonates would probably be my very first game. Um, Obviously, like, you're trying to prove yourself, trying to prove that you deserve to be on the team, that you deserve ice time, and I think, like, the biggest moment from that game was, like, scoring my first OUA goal, because then you know that, like, "Okay, maybe I do fit in, like, this is for me," and it just gives you, like, confidence going into your first year.
Yeah. What was the reaction like from your support cast, maybe your friends or family or anybody who came to watch that day?
I think they were all just, like, excited, like, get the monkey off your back early, like,
Yeah.
and you don't have to deal with that stress anymore.
True, true, true. All right, altogether, that's fantastic. And then, has there been any new teammates that have come on board since then? And have you been able to advise them, maybe from your own experience, having a fantastic first year, giving them some tips that they could also use to get that weight of their shoulders so they could also excel?
I'd say, yeah, Scano, last year, it was her first year, and she had a very successful season, and, she was actually Rookie of the Year last year and, like, well deserved, and I think that she also kinda caught on that, um, like, the faster that you're able to kinda score your first goal or get your first point, like, the easier the season becomes, and I think that she really took the momentum of that and just, like, went with it.
Yeah. I mean, we could see the results of that. We don't need to talk too much on that topic.
Mhm.
But from your perspective now, just looking at the game of hockey altogether, of course, people will love some certain aspects of it. Some people find some other aspects that they would love to change. What is one of those things that you would like to change about the sport of hockey if you could change it? Maybe women's hockey specifically.
One thing that I'd say I'd change about women's hockey is maybe just, like, allowing, like, body contact, like, I'm not sure how many girls would actually, like, take advantage of it or whatever, but I think I'd just like to see how much, like, the game would change if we were actually allowed to do that.
How much do you think it would change? What's your prediction? What do you think would be super different?
Honestly, I don't think very much would change. I think it would really be solely based on the team that you're playing.
Yeah,
Like, certain teams would take advantage of it, and other teams would just kinda stick to the game that we know now.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And okay, let's transition a bit now to you as a person. Maybe not too much away from hockey, but just you as a person, Aaron, so that everyone can get to know you better. What would you say is maybe your biggest strength? I guess probably your biggest weakness too, that you're trying to work on, looking at both sides.
I think that my biggest strength would be, like, determination, like, I have a lot of mental motivation to be able to, like, get up and do things, and, like, if I have something due, like, I have a lot of mental motivation to get it done, and I think my biggest weakness would be, like, confidence, like, sometimes, like, I lack a lot of confidence, and, like, if things aren't going well for me, then it's really hard for me to feel like I can get out of that.
Yeah. So for someone like maybe me or anybody else who probably is in the same boat as you, what piece of advice would you then give to help boost the confidence? What has worked for you?
I'd say just don't let yourself dwell on it too much because everybody goes through those points where maybe things aren't going for them, but like you do recover in the end and
Yeah.
everything will work its way out.
Sure. Basically, just the saying, tough times never last. The tough people do, essentially.
Yeah.
That's great. So I want to ask you another question. This is about motion ball. I saw a post about you just randomly playing motion ball for a fantastic cause. What would you say was your experience playing that? And were you pretty good at it when you did it?
Oh, I had an excellent experience. It was a lot of fun. Like I really enjoyed it and I would definitely go back and do it again. And honestly, no, I wasn't that good. I'm not that good at dodgeball. The athletes were a lot better than I was,
Yeah.
but it was just a lot of fun to be able to hang out with them for a day.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And there's this other random observation that I just saw too. I just want to ask you this question generally. What did you do with your Nutri Ninja?
I think I make a lot of smoothies. My dad uses it a lot to make a lot of smoothies, but that's about all that it gets used for.
What's your favorite smoothie recipe then?
Oh, I'm like a big basic strawberry banana person. So just some like water, ice, strawberries, bananas, maybe some milk.
Yeah, honestly, same. Like, keep it simple, get straight to the point, and just do that. Perfect. This was also something I heard through the grapevine that you enjoy or you're pretty good at battle rapping. And I just saw that. I'm like, oh, wow. So, can you talk about that for a little bit? Where did you start
um,
and where are you now in your career with that?
my career is currently still non-existent. I love like doing it on the bus after a game, after a win, maybe like long road trip.
Yeah.
It's not something that I do in public, just in front of my teammates, like coaches, stuff
Okay.
like that. I don't know, just a lot of fun. I'm not that good at it, but I
That
enjoy it.
still sounds like something very fun. Of course, you say you don't do it in public, so I'm not going to ask you to show off your skills now. Maybe in a later day for sure. But how did you just get into that? Like, what was your inspiration to do that? And was it a talent that you just said, oh, I really enjoyed this? What was the backstory behind it?
I think that last year we decided to do bus karaoke on the way home, and I was just really tired and I didn't want to do it. And then my roommates kind of hyped me up to do this one like rap song that I was really into at the time. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll do it. And then once I started, like the song requests just kept coming. And I think, I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I'm not a good singer, I'm not a good rapper, but it's just a lot of fun.
I mean, that's great. Honestly, that's just what it's about, just having fun with the team and whatnot. So, there's this sort of kind of question I want to ask too. People usually look back sometimes at their high school days compared to where they are now. And of course, there's some things that you're really proud of. You already mentioned one of those, just having fun with your teammates, winning the offset twice. Compared to high school Erin versus Erin now, third year of university, what would you say is one piece of advice that you would give yourself to do differently? And what's one thing that you say you're really glad you did back in high school that helped you out now?
I think that one thing I'm really glad I did back in high school was obviously keep my friends that I had going into high school, but like I made a lot of new friends that I still talk to today. And I think just the socialization aspect is something that like I would continue. And some advice I'd give myself is just like um, don't let like what people say affect you too much because usually like it really doesn't matter. Like you're probably not going to see those people from high school again,
Yeah,
and just don't dwell on any hardships that you have because life like everything happens for a reason. So
yeah. That honestly, that's solid advice. Everything does happen for a reason. And looking at things in the big perspective, for sure. So now I want to take this back to the point where you said that determination is a pretty good strength of yours. And I want to get some more advice from you on that. You're the kind of person, of course, who is a full-time varsity athlete as well as a full-time student too. So just having that kind of, I'm very sure it's a busy lifestyle amongst other things that you have to family, friends, whatnot. How do you balance everything all together?
I make a lot of schedules and a lot of notes of what I'm supposed to do each day, who I'm supposed to see. Um, Sometimes I'll take it day by day if I'm getting really overwhelmed and I just like focus on what's due that day or who I'm supposed to be seeing that day. And I think the big thing is like calendars and
Yeah,
organization and time management.
yeah,
Really have to focus on time management.
definitely. Those are pretty solid skills altogether. So, taking this now to your current program that you're studying, commerce, as well as hockey, which has been going pretty well for you. Of course, maybe this is a bit far down, but looking at postgrad, what would you say you're looking to do postgrad after university?
After my undergrad, I'm hoping to go to teachers college for JK to grade 6, and then I guess we'll see where it goes from there. Maybe apply to some jobs, try to do a master's. Not super sure yet.
Yeah, you still have, of course, you have a lot of time to decide that. But that does sound great. So, I mean, would you also teach hockey as well too, as well as the academic side of things too?
I think that maybe in my hometown, I would try to like get. a job with like a younger girls team just for like something fun to do, a nice hobby, or like maybe even like a younger boys like Mite and Tyke team,
Yeah.
and just see where that goes.
And I think that would be great. Of course, giving back to your community is always pretty solid altogether. Great, great, fantastic, fantastic stuff. I mean, we've learned a whole lot. Now I want to play a little game. I just like to call it, of course, you know what this is, put a finger down. Have you seen that before?
Okay.
Of course
Yes,
you
I've
have.
seen that.
All right, let's do that. So just put 5 or actually 10 fingers. I call
For
it
10.
my bad.
Okay.
And I'll just say, of course, random things, and you put a finger down if you've done it. And let's see
Okay.
how many you have left. So, first things first, put a finger down if you've ever broken a hockey stick before. Yeah, okay. Put a finger down if you've ever stayed up for 24 hours straight. Put a finger down if you've ever eaten a whole pizza box by yourself.
In one sitting.
Yeah, one sitting. Okay, fair enough. Put a finger down if you've ever been caught talking to yourself out loud. We all have, don't worry. Okay, since we're in a virtual world, actually, put a finger down if you've mistakenly unmuted your mic and you had no idea. And you were actually talking in the background. Okay, that's never happened to you. Good, good,
Nope.
good. That happened to someone in my class today. So I was just like, in my mind. Put a finger down if you've ever sneezed on someone before. Never, okay. Put a finger down if you've ever correctly guessed someone's name before they told you. Okay, that would take a lot of like I don't know, mental strength or psychology. All right. Put a finger down if you've ever missed the bus before, maybe to a game or for a road trip or anything. Okay.
Well,
Put
for
a
school,
finger down.
but not for like hockey.
Not for hockey games before.
No, just for school.
Okay, for school. How did you get to school that day?
My mom drove me.
Good, good. Awesome. Happy about moms. We're grateful for moms. Put a finger down if you've ever frozen when you met someone before. Yeah, okay. Put a finger down if you've ever or actually if you've ever met a famous hockey player before. Put a finger down if you've ever been to a hockey game or an NHL game. Okay. Let's see. How many do we have left? 2 more. Okay. So you're good. Put a finger down if you've ever cheated on a test before. Never. Okay. Good. Put a finger down. Last one. If you've ever mistakenly gone into the wrong restroom. That's great. So you have 3 left. That's honestly a pretty good score. Okay. So now just the final section that I like to talk about. This is more about your hometown, more about things you love to do, as well as family, of course. So what would you say, or what can you say about your family just in general, how they've shaped you as a person growing up? What was that like for you and whatnot?
um, well, just like talking about my immediate family. Obviously, my dad played hockey for a while, and my mom was a figure skater. So I think both of them like were really supportive with like whatever sport I wanted to play, and like they both kind of knew like how hard it was, how stressful it is with school and hockey and all of that. So they were just always really supportive. And then I think that my brother like really shaped me too, because I always had someone to follow. Like he would always do everything first, and I was always able to like follow him and look up to him. And um like he's a pretty good role model, I'd say, for me.
That's awesome. That's like, well, you've had a lot of, I feel like every single person definitely has had a role to play directly in your career and whatnot. That's really fantastic though. And then altogether, amongst maybe like your friend group or whatever, who would you say just randomly is one person that's very similar to you as a person? And maybe you were pretty shocked when you said, well, I'm pretty shocked at how we have a lot of common interests or the personality is almost exactly like yours. Who would you say is or are those kind of people?
I would say my one friend that I've been friends with since I was like 4. Um, her name is Rihanna. We both have a really strong drive, and like we were both interested in hockey. She doesn't play anymore, but
Mm,
um, and I think that just like growing up, we discovered that we were into the same things. Like we're obviously from the same place. Like we have about the same friends group.
and everything, the rest is history. You just go.
Yep. Still friends.
That's great that you've kept the friendship for that long. It's pretty impressive,
Yep.
definitely. And away from sports, away from school, who is Erin in a nutshell?
Um, I don't really know. That's a hard question. Um, I don't know. I guess to like describe myself, I would just be like your typical like small town person. Um, care a lot about people, a lot about my life. I have a big family.
Hmm,
Mm,
that's pretty.
Yeah, I don't
Big
know.
families are
There's
always fun, yeah. So, looking at Lucan, where you're from, versus Oshawa as a city, what would you say are some things, and you can be honest about it, of course, that you like about Oshawa more than your hometown? And what are some things that you did not like about Oshawa when you got here?
the one thing I like about Oshawa is everything is convenient. Like there's a mall, there's a grocery store, there's like gas stations, like you can go to a restaurant in 5 minutes. Like that's so convenient for me.
Yeah,
And the one thing that I really don't like is the fact that I don't know everybody. Like I look outside and I don't know my neighbor. Like I don't know their name. I don't know anything about them. Like we never like grew up together. Like I haven't lived near them for a while.
interesting. So I'm guessing that's kind of like how your hometown is like altogether. That seems like a
Yeah.
very wholesome community for sure. So how would you what are, let's just say, some of your favorite memories from growing up there?
Oh, there's so many. I'd say we have a community pool
Yeah.
and my two cousins, my brother and I would go like every day as children and we would always see like people from our elementary school there too and like other kids, like all of us would just go there and like congregate like every single day in the summer. And those are probably like my fondest memories, I think.
That definitely sounds nice altogether. All right, so we've touched on everything. We've touched on hockey. We've touched on you as a person. We've touched on family. We've touched on Oshawa versus Lincoln, ultimate battle, and of course battle rapping too. I still find that pretty intriguing. That's a great skill for sure. And just to wrap up everything nicely, what's your final message to the world? Is there anyone that we forgot to talk about, or anything we forgot to mention, or what would you just like to say in general?
I'd say just set a goal and try to focus on that one goal and don't let external factors try to diminish your chances of achieving your goal.
Mm. Laser focused tunnel vision, just get it. That's definitely
Mhm.
good. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.